Hi everyone, it's Mari for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating a single layer card today here using the Better Together stamp set and coordinating dies. This is such a sweet little set that has all kinds of little critters and different little fall themed images. I'm going to stamp my images out here with the Honeybee Intense black ink pad, and you'll just see me here starting off by stamping out that little bunny. Now I want the bunny to be in the forefront of the little scene that I'm going to be creating, so that's why I stamped the bunny first. Now I'm going to trim out a piece of masking paper and I'm going to lay that over top of my bunny, but I'm just laying it in that position because I want to stamp over top of it, and that's where the stamp is on my Misty door here. So I'm going to just lay the masking paper down and stamp the bunny image out on that mask. Now I'll just take my scissors and I will fussy cut that bunny out of the masking paper and lay the mask over top of the stamped image. My paper that I have in my mini Misty here is just an A2 size card base cut from some Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock, and I am going to create my entire single layer scene for my card on that A2 size piece of cardstock here. So now I have my bunny all masked off. I wanted to make it look like the bunny is sitting on this stump, on this log. So now I'm going to go ahead and stamp that log over top of the bunny image, and it's going to appear that the log is underneath the bunny and behind. And so that is just how I am going to continue to create my little scene here. Now I am of course also going to create a mask for that log or that stump that the bunny's sitting on. So now I'm going to take my masking paper, lay that down onto my card front and stamp that log onto that mask again. And in the same way, I'm going to fussy cut the log out and lay that down onto the stamped image. And so I'm just going to continue that process until I have my entire little scene stamped out here. So you'll just see me there. I'm going to go ahead and trim out that stump or that log. I'm going to cover that up. And then I will go ahead and grab another stamp from that stamp set. And there's just so many options for creating a card of this type with this stamp set, because there's tons of sweet little woodland images there, woodland critters that you could create. Just so many sweet little fall scenes. So here, this little raccoon, I'm going to stamp over to the right of the bunny. And I am going to go ahead and mask off the raccoon. And then I'm going to also use a pumpkin and a mushroom, an acorn, a bird, and the clouds. And I am going to just get those all trimmed out and masked off. And then I'm going to do some ink blending for my background. Now I'm going to use this mask set that you see here it's a scene builder set that's really, really fantastic. And I will make sure that I link up to that down below. But one of the masks in that set is really great for creating sort of like a little wavy ground or grassy area if you want, or a hill underneath your critters in your scene, or whatever it is that you've stamped for images in your scene. And so I've got that masked off on the bottom, and now I'm just going to go ahead and blend on some sky. I'm starting off here with Distress Oxide Tumbled Glass and my Honeybee Stamps blending brushes, which I absolutely love. I wanted to add a little bit of purples into my fall sky as well, and this is some Dusty Concord. This is Dusty Concord ink. And now I'm going in with a little bit of Broken China. So far I've used Tumbled Glass, Dusty Concord, and Broken China, and just trying to create a really, really pretty blend of purples and blues for this really lovely fall sky. I also actually added in a little bit of Victorian Velvet. I don't think I showed that on camera, but I just added a tiny little bit of Victorian Velvet to my blend as well, and then kind of just blended it together with the blue. So there you can see the sky is all ready to go. And now I'm going to mask off the sky area and I'm going to blend on some grass. And I'm just going to start off here with some mowed lawn, which is just a really pretty bright green. That's definitely a grassy green looking type of color. And I'm also going to add a little bit of Rustic Wilderness just for a little bit of contrast. I often try to use more than one color when I'm blending ink onto my scenes, just to create a little bit of depth and dimension. Now I'm going to take and remove all of the masks that are hiding my different little stamped images here. And I'm going to take my Copic markers and color in my little critters. And I just did some really, really basic coloring, nothing fancy, and you'll see that right away here. Now I did want to also die cut out my little scene here so that it's a little bit smaller. So I'm just trying out some of my Sweet Stacks rectangle dies. I love these dies. They are so fantastic, and they are just a really great sort of like basic set of rectangles to have in your stash. Really, really love these. And so I'm just kind of trying to decide here what size I want my rectangle to be. So I'm going to go with this next size here. I think that's the third largest in this set. And then what I'm going to do is cut the next largest rectangle out of some black cardstock to create some layers. So here you can see I've got the next size up, a layer in black. So that's just going to create a really nice black frame around my little scene here. And then I'm going to adhere all of that to a white A2 size card base. So you can see how nice that's all going to layer together there really nicely. And I love that I've got the perfect spot for a sentiment in that sky area there as well. Before I add my sentiment and any other details, I'm going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella, which just adds a little bit of sparkle and shine to the images that I've stamped out here. So to the pumpkins and the critters, actually all of the stamped images, except I think the clouds I didn't add it to, are going to have just a little bit of this clear Wink of Stella. I'm also going to add a little bit of highlight and some polka dots here and there to my project with a white gel pen. So I'm going to add some white polka dots to the scarf on the little sweet little raccoon here. I will add just some little dots of highlights here and there on the other stamped images, and I'm also going to add a little highlight to the little cheek areas of each one of my critters. You could use any type of coloring technique that you like to do in your process to color in these different images. I just chose Copic markers today just because that's what I felt like using, but definitely you could use your colored pencils or watercolor, your Caron markers, whatever it is that you have in your stash that you love to color with. And these little critters were so fun to color up. Now I'm also going to use my black gel pen or glaze pen to color in some of the little areas that I wanted to make dimensional and shiny. So the nose of the raccoon, the nose and eyes of the bunny, and the little eyes of the bird in the sky. And that is just going to add a little bit more detail to my card. I wanted to add a few little more dimensional sparkly bits to my project as well. So I'm going to take some Perfect Pearls, water them down, and then just tap on these this product here onto my entire project here just to add a little bit more interest to the card. So you're just going to see me adding that Perfect Pearls to my mat where I have a little bit of water, and then I will just take and tap those little nice shiny dots onto the card. And it's a really subtle little addition, but it does really look pretty. I really like it. So that is going to be that little bit of sparkle and shine to my card as well. Now I also wanted to add a little bit of Nouveau Glaze, and I'm going to add that to the acorn and to the pumpkins on the project, and also to the little dots on the mushroom. Again, just to add a little bit more interest and detail to the card. All of these little things that you can do to a scene like this that just add little bits of extra detail that I feel like really make a huge difference on how the card looks when it's done, and they don't take much time to do. So here you can just see I'm just adding that Nouveau Glaze, and I will set this aside and let it dry. I also added some sparkly stickles to some of the card as well. To I think the sweater of the raccoon, I added some stickles and a few other little areas as well. Now I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the stamp set here that says, "We are better together." And I love that stamp set. I think I should say, I love that sentiment. I think it's just really, really perfect for the time that we're in, especially. I feel like this is just really, really perfect for sending out in the mail. And the nice thing about a single layer card is they are much easier to mail. You don't have to worry about the postage being wrong on them or whatever. Like, they are just a much easier type of card to ship out in the mail. So there you can see I have the sentiment element all stamped out, and I have some heat embossing done on that with some clear embossing powder. And I've got that all die cut out with the coordinating die from the stamp set, or from the coordinating die set for the stamp set. And I'm just going to use my honeybee tweezers here to position that onto my card with a tiny little bit of foam adhesive. And that is going to be my project today. I love how this turned out, and I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed watching. Make sure you check the description box below for links to all of the products that I used today. And have an amazing day, my friends, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.